What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve.
I'm Lindsay.
Today we're going to be reacting to a very highly requested place in our comment section, and that is York, England. Specifically, why we love York, England, things to do, and places to visit.
I'm excited.
Is York the most beautiful city in England? I've heard many people
Wow.
ask this question
Wow.
before, and
Oh
even
my
I just had to
gosh.
find out to answer the question ourselves.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Wandering the city felt like traveling back in time
Oh
while discovering
my
York's
gosh.
fascinating history. York was entertaining and definitely a place for good food. And after spending nearly 2 days in this ancient city, Adrian and I found ourselves
I
agreeing
love the
So
look.
pretty.
Oh, my goodness.
that this quaint city in northern England could well possibly be the most beautiful city in
How cute is that?
Yes. This is my type of city.
Yeah, for real.
This is beautiful. I love how you've got the cathedral in the backdrop. Probably you can probably see that from the majority
most
of
of
the
the
area
city,
since it's
yeah.
taller than most everything else.
Did
I
you
w-
see all the ruins?
Yeah.
All around?
I wonder if there is some sort of law or rule that states that nothing can impede the view of the cathedral. Like you can't build anything higher than the cathedral.
I'm sure there's like a height.
Yeah, probably is.
the country.
The most pretty city in the
Adrian
country?
and I would love for you to join us on our countless adventures. Subscribe now to get notified of our upcoming videos. From the moment we started exploring the city, we noticed
Harry
how
Fit-
quaint and
Wow, look
well-preserved
at
its
that.
buildings
Oh
were.
my gosh.
Every street was full of charm, and at Minster,
Oh, man. I love it.
This is adorable.
Yes.
There's just so much character
That's what it is,
in
the character.
every single little pocket.
Like we haven't even got that far into
I
this,
know.
and the character is just blowing me away.
Yeah.
Down to just the greenery growing on the brick wall.
I love it.
gates, we found some artisan shops, including the Hebden Tea Shop, with its plethora of unique and interesting flavors.
I can smell that
Adrian
place.
decided to go traditional with Earl Grey.
bet it smells
while
really
I
good.
tried something more adventurous, orange ice cream. Another fun shop was John Bull Candies, with its colorful bonbons and funny mugs. Our first stop was the historic York Minster, where there were many signs detailing the stories behind the historic structures around the church. These signs can be found all over the city, and they are all worth a thorough read. Before we went in, we made it a point to enjoy the church's beautiful surroundings and admired the
I
historic
love that architecture. That, oh man, that is one of my
Are you talking
favorite.
about the Tudor style?
Yes, the Tudor style.
I wonder how many food items and things originated in York because
Your peppermint patties.
I don't know.
wonder if that.
I always wondered about that since you started this channel. If York peppermint patties are actually a British thing.
They probably are.
Yorkshire tea,
Definitely.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah. Do you see this gate right here? Or this door?
Yeah, that's cute.
buildings on College Street.
Oh, you hear the birds.
No trip to York would be complete without visiting York Minster. Once called the Cathedral and Metropolitan
view.
Church of St. Peter in York, this place of Anglican worship dates all the way back to the year
Sorry,
627, making it over
627.
Yeah.
Look at the symmetry. Like that's the thing that is most impressive to me of all these old cathedrals and buildings. Like the architecture is beautiful, obviously, but just
Yeah.
the symmetry that's hand carved.
I know
stuff,
that's
like,
what I don't even understand how it's
detail.
possible. It doesn't
I
even
know.
like you saw the outside,
Yeah,
right? Like
gorgeous.
just blows me away that it's just how did human hands create these masterpieces, these works of art, these buildings like I can't even begin to imagine, especially, I mean, even nowadays with our modern technology, this seems like it'd be very hard to recreate. But like, imagine going back before any of our modern technology and creating these magnificent structures, the beautiful stained glass, everything about, I love these cathedrals. I love them.
I haven't got to look at many.
I know.
1,300 years old. The Minster's intricate
1,300 years
stonework,
old.
magnificent stained glass windows, and awe-inspiring interior offer a glimpse into the rich tapestry of England's medieval past.
Wow, look at that organ.
Oh my my
Isn't
goodness.
that what that is?
Maybe?
Or is that just the woodwork?
I am not
An
sure.
important part of the Minster is the crypt, which we think no one should miss. York Minster's crypt isn't just a burial site. It's a window into the city's deep history. The crypt holds a legendary figure. Folklore says the tomb of York's patron saint, Saint William, resides here. Beneath York Minster's grandeur lies the Undercroft Museum, a treasure trove of the city's past. Here, history comes alive with Roman soldier footsteps etched in stone and archaeological finds whispering tales of Viking York. Interactive displays bring the Minster story to life, while artifacts like the ancient York Gospels, still used in service.
This book is 1,000 years old and describes the life of Jesus. It came to York shortly after it was made and survived wars, fires, and the ravages of time. Used in the Minster today, a powerful... Wow!
Offer tangible
York
connections
Gospels. Never
to
heard
the
of that.
Minster's rich heritage. I recommend that you book your tickets online prior to visiting, as it gets busy in the
100%
Minster,
would go visit
especially
that
during
place.
peak season. And if you do, make sure to include the crypt and the Undercroft. And during our entire stay in York, Adrian and I enjoyed the songs that the church bells played
How? How?
throughout the day.
Look at that.
How is that created by human hands?
It's just so grand.
Does that not blow you away? And to think, this has survived for 1,300 years. It always amazes me how these buildings survived war and everything else.
A lot of things were destroyed.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Through war, but
Yeah.
thankfully places like this are still there.
Yes.
That would be beautiful to hear every day.
Wouldn't this be Gothic? Would that be Gothic architecture?
Aside from being historic,
I don't know,
York is
probably.
also full of fun.
Whip my
wop my
gate.
gate.
Street, whip my wop my gate.
Whip my wop my gate.
The shortest street in York, known as 1505 as
Whatnar Gate.
meaning what a street. It was changed later into its present name. The footpath was paved in York stone by York Civic Trust in 19... Oh, okay. So the footpath was paved recently.
Known in 1505
Relatively.
as Whatnar Gate, it was changed eventually to its present name, which is now somehow similar sounding. Close by is King Square, with its old yet
Daisy
historic
Tail.
crooked buildings that house famous establishments
Oh my goodness.
such as the Duke of York pub. It's also the perfect gathering place to watch street performers. These guys were so much fun, by the way. King's Court is also where we found the mecca for chocolate lovers, York's Chocolate Story.
York's Chocolate Story?
Chocolate Story is a must-visit for any chocolate lover. This interactive museum takes you on a delicious journey through York's rich chocolate history. You'll
Yes,
even
please.
get to learn how to taste chocolate like a pro and create your own chocolate treat.
Roundtrees, Terry's, and Cravens.
But perhaps the most famous of all attractions in York is the Shambles.
Oh, I
The Shambles
love
has a
these
dark
alleys.
past. Butcher shops and slaughterhouses once housed this charming street, dating back all the way to the past before it was rebuilt in the 14th century. By the way, just look at those sausage rolls and
Rebuilt
pies.
in the 14th century.
Wow.
I swear, walking through this street made me feel like I was in a Harry Potter book or something.
That's what it reminds
Yeah.
me of.
Historic leaning
It's gotta
timber
get that vibe.
buildings and wonky cobblestones. Even the shops at the Shambles are adorable and authentic. Kids love the Potions Cauldron and the many stores that sell items of
Potions
wizardry.
Cauldron.
As with many other British cities, the Shambles is what is thought to have inspired Diagon Alley in the Harry Potter books. Here on this street, you will also find the shrine for the Pearl of York, St. Margaret Clitheroe. Wait, we just
Do you see this?
Yeah.
Look at this,
look at
like-
it.
Isn't that interesting? I just, this has so much character. I don't know else how to describe this. This has so much character. I love how each little section of building is completely different. There's this wonky, like, crookedness to some of the buildings and just these quaint, straight. I love this. This is, to me, this is kind of what I would always have thought in my mind before looking in the UK. This is kind of what I picture it as an English city, an old English city, right? Does they have that vibe to you as well?
Yeah. It's definitely what I think of when I think of an English city.
Right, absolutely.
Missed something. It's a cat.
Ah!
There are statues of cats all over York which were placed, some say, to frighten away mice that carry diseases and plagues. But some also say they were installed because they are just a fun addition to the buildings.
That's cute.
A few steps away from the Shambles is the amazing Shambles Market. Here we found a few stalls that sold anything from clothes to phone cases. The best part of the market is the food court. Who needs to go to a restaurant when this market has so many different types of food to offer? But what really drew our attention was crumbles, a small stall that sold crumble and custard in many flavors. Crumble is a delicious British dessert where fruit compote like apple or rhubarb is topped with a shortbread-like layer of crumbs.
Wow.
Then it is smothered with hot custard.
Okay,
Yummy.
that-
You definitely
Ooh,
have to
that
try that.
custard ice
That was
cream is
good.
to die for, too. But one thing to remember about the Shambles is that it gets very busy. On Coney Street, you will find
Look at
St.
that.
Martin's Clock, which was erected in 1668 and has been redesigned many times ever since.
Wow, that clock's from 1668.
That is
been
crazy.
redesigned, but- Look at this.
I love the
Not
mix.
far from the Shambles
Like,
on the-
look, I love the mix of the old
And the new.
with the new. Like,
Yeah.
look at the McDonald's sign. It's
Oh, I didn't see
one
that.
of those buildings, and it's just such a contrast.
Yeah,
Because
I
you
like
wouldn't
that too.
expect it.
Pavement is the Golden Fleece Pub and Inn, which is said to be England's most haunted inn. Friends
Really?
have also told us that Betty's on St. Helens Square is a must visit.
I would definitely want to go. Betty's Cafe Tea Rooms. That looks really cute.
Yeah,
It kind of looks fancy though.
it does.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get in due to the long lines. I guess it's a
Oh, that's
very popular
adorable.
spot.
Monet and
Walking
York.
around the stunning city of York gave us amazing views, but some of the best views, I believe, were seen
Oh
while
my
on
goodness,
the York
man.
City walls. The first one we walked on are the Roman walls, which were built originally around 71 AD when the Romans erected a fort by the
71.
banks of the River Ouse. York,
Wow.
since the Roman times, has always been protected and defended by walls of one form or another. The majority of the remaining walls, which encircle the whole medieval city, date from the 13th to the 14th.
Walls encircle the whole city.
That's what it sounds like. I don't know if it's like the entirety or if it's just mostly, but
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you can walk them? That'd be a cool vantage point.
century.
yeah.
The walls
That'd be a
have
fun
fallen
wall.
into disrepair many times, but they were restored in the Victorian period, providing many vantage
Wow.
points for the stunning scenery at the foot of each wall.
That is so cool.
That is cool.
These walls have been modified multiple times, but still provide amazing views of the city.
What a great way to get
especially
around
with the
town,
Minster
man.
spires
Walk
towering
around the
above
city.
the trees.
I love all the greenery too.
Yes.
At the
trees.
walls, you will find bars, which were gatehouses. These bars were once gatehouses that were designed to restrict traffic in medieval times. The most prominent ones to date are the Micklegate Bar, Monk Bar, and the Boothen Bar.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. This city looks like an adventurer's
I was
paradise.
gonna say there's so much you could do.
It seems like a city that will be full of just all sorts of nooks and crannies
Like
to
little
explore.
quirky things
Yeah.
that are like off, like kind of hidden gems.
Yes,
things.
yes, yes, absolutely.
A lot of the streets in York are named gates. Well, this is because of its Nordic
Principal
origins.
Street.
Gata in Old Norse means a path, way, street, or road. York has a lot of historic ties with the Vikings. The best way to learn about this is to visit the Jorvik Viking Center. Here we saw underneath these glass floors what was once
Wow.
Nordic buildings,
Oh,
and we
wow.
were taken through an interactive storytelling ride about York's Viking past. Adrian and I really found this small museum to be very fascinating.
It just seems like such a peaceful city.
Yes, it really does.
One of our favorite parts of the city are the museum gardens where the Yorkshire Museum can be found. This botanical garden is an oasis in the city, especially in the spring with its abundant flowers and singing birds.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, this
that
place.
Would be
Yes, this place looks like it has a ton of really awesome like green spaces,
little walking
parks.
paths. And...
Yes, this is like a great city that you would just walk. I don't think I'd want a car, man. Give me a bicycle.
I think you might need one to go to other places.
Sure, but I'm saying if I'm just in town, like if I lived here, I wouldn't need a car. I would just get around by walking and bike.
I love how well manicured everything is.
Yeah, it does seem to be.
Just the attention to
Detail.
Yeah, the landscaping is beautiful.
There are several historic buildings in the gardens.
I
They
love.
contain the remains of the
I mean,
west
that's so
corner of the
cool that
Roman
stuff
fort
like that's
of
there.
Borkum, including the Multangular Tower, St. Mary's Abbey, founded in 1055 and was once the largest and richest Benedictine establishment in the north.
I'm sorry to keep
1055.
pausing it, but I'm just so jealous that you guys have this stuff just sitting out in your parks.
Yeah, that's
like
so
all these
cool.
ruins, ancient ruins, and it's just.
Yeah, if you at all like history at all, and you would all like to kind of daydream about what things were like back when, having things that you can go and touch like this that were built in literally over 1,000 years ago, right? Or close to 1,000 years ago. I mean, that's just, it blows my mind because here it's like, we get something that's like the 1700s maybe. Yeah. I mean, and every once in a while, depending on where you're at, you might be able to find something that's from like the late 1600s, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. There's really nothing major. Like we don't have the castles and the forts and the walls, well, newer forts, I guess, but you know what I'm saying? Like having this stuff just out and about to be able to see on any given day if you live in this area and walk the wall, man, it'd be amazing.
It would.
Yeah.
North of England. The Hospitium, which once housed guests, which were mostly merchants who were not allowed to stay with the monks in the abbey. York Museum Gardens offer a delightful escape in the heart of York. Founded in the 1830s, these botanical gardens boast a vibrant collection of
there's my
plants and
dream come
trees
true.
with winding paths and sprawling lawns. It is also a perfect place to observe wildlife such as squirrels jumping across trees and different types of beautiful birds, each with melodic songs to sing.
That is incredible, man.
Wow.
And past the gates of the museum gardens is the Dame Judi Dench Walk, where we strolled along the scenic River Ouse. And speaking of the River Ouse, this vital waterway that flows through the city of York is popular for rowing, kayaking, and cruises. Take a cruise on the river on a beautiful sunny day. We wanted to get on one, but unfortunately, we were running out of time.
Oh, look at that bridge,
Strolling along
man.
the river on a beautiful sunny day in York was a perfect way to end
It's
our
a beautiful bridge.
Is that an airboat? Ice cream boat, the full moo.
I've heard of that. I've never looked into it, but I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
Boats. That's pretty cool.
I don't know. Is that like an ice cream truck kind of?
Yeah, but an airboat.
That's just wild. This is so awesome. I keep on saying that, but like just the walking along the river. This is a beautiful, beautiful city.
It really is. And I'm sure we've only seen just a tiny bit of it.
It looks like it's got a lot that it would literally take many, many videos to cover even half of what's available in the city, it seems.
After all that walking, Adrian and I had to rest
The
our
Guy
weary
Fawkes
feet
Inn.
and eat dinner. So we
Guy
decided to
Fawkes
do it
Inn?
in another iconic and historic place, the Guy Fawkes Inn. This historic building is where Guy Fawkes was born in 1570. And for those of you who don't know who Guy Fawkes is, well, let me tell you. Guy Fawkes, along with his fellow Catholic conspirators, tried to blow up Parliament on the 5th of November, 1605. Well, let's say it didn't go to plan, and they got caught, and Guy Fawkes died a miserable death in
Remember the 5th of
1606.
November.
Since then, the Brits have been celebrating Guy Fawkes Night on November 5th.
You don't know anything about that much, though, do you? You haven't looked into it, really. You've just heard.
In one video we watched,
You have
it
seen a
talked
little bit about it?
briefly about, like, is it Bonfire Night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you haven't, like, looked into the story or anything like that, really? We'll have to do that
I've heard
sometime.
of them because of V for Vendetta and all that.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah, a long time ago. When it first came out, I don't really remember the story.
I don't know if I've actually seen it or if I've seen... I don't know if I've actually seen that or if I've just seen like clips or something. But I've looked into Guy Fawkes a little bit before. Really interesting story. And obviously Bonfire Night happens every year. And as it gets closer, we'll probably look into something about
that'd
that.
be cool.
Yeah.
You recognize that sinister mask? Yes, that was patterned after good old Mr. Fox. I love the pub in this inn.
Wow.
It literally was stepping into a time machine.
I started to say that's what it looks like. Imagine the stories that those walls could tell you.
Yeah, right.
The food and the drinks were absolutely delicious, especially their pie, which
is
they
that?
claim to be the best in York.
Wow.
What is that? A meat pie?
That looks
My favorite
good.
British dessert,
good.
sticky toffee pudding.
Okay, that's the real stuff right
When in
there.
York,
I was gonna
don't
say,
forget
it doesn't look anything like the little. I mean, it was nice to be able to try
Yeah,
it.
it was actually
But I'm sure
pretty good.
that's like way.
Yeah, we didn't have like a homemade one, but like even the ones we did have, like it was pretty good.
The Yorkie Pud. Meet our Yorkie Roasty Snooky. Or is it Snooky?
Our Yorkie Roasty Snooky, the York Roast Company.
to have Yorkshire pudding.
Man, I'm getting hungry.
I
Which is
know.
a baked savory pudding made with a batter of eggs, salt, milk, and flour. It's perfect with roasts and is a common British side dish. But lately, there have
looks
been
good.
many variations, including those
That's
that
your
use
jam right there.
oversized puddings as a dish itself.
Well, that does look good,
I
man.
highly
A little
recommend
gravy.
that visitors of York try one. York is a pretty small city, which is common for most cities in England. However, everywhere we went was so charming and historic.
Wow, guys, this was an incredible video, and York looks like an absolutely amazing city.
It really does. And they did a really good job putting this together.
Yeah, really,
It
really
was very
good.
visually appealing.
Yeah, I got a lot out of this. I learned a lot, and I think York would be one of those cities that I could actually see myself living in.
I could too. That's what I was thinking. I
Right.
haven't seen a lot of cities in the
Right.
UK or England, but this one has looks like almost everything I would want in a city.
You and I are very similar
Yeah.
in the way we
Would want to live.
live, the way we like our
Thankfully.
surroundings and things like that. And I knew right away that it just wasn't me. I mean, I knew right away you would be like, yeah, you like this as
Yeah.
well. I love the fact of how obviously the old world architecture is something that's very appealing to me. I think we're both big on our environment and the way our surroundings look. They give
Being
us
aesthetically pleasing
Right.
to the eye.
and this city has that in leaps and bounds.
And it's just charming. Like,
Very,
everything
very
about it's
charming. I love areas that are very quirky, and this seems like not only from like the wonky buildings to like
to the cat statues on
right,
the
and
buildings.
to the names of the
Yeah.
different stores and whatnot. It just has a very quirky vibe,
Mm-hmm.
which I really dig. I love the greenery. It looks like it's a place that's very, very walkable. She
The
said,
history.
right, the history. She said that it was a kind of a smaller city. I don't know exactly how large it is compared to other cities,
Right.
but obviously it looks big enough. It's not like it's the size of my hometown, but this looks like a place you really, outside of if you need to leave, it looks like if you just planned on living in York, you wouldn't really need a car. I'm thinking you could probably take a bus if you wanted to really get across town, or maybe a cab or something, but otherwise you could just do a bicycle or walking. I mean, it's amazing you can walk around the city, at least, I don't know if the entirety or at least most of it on that wall. That it's just so amazing, so beautiful. I love this place.
York is definitely a place we will have to visit when we get
100%. There's many, many reasons why here, but I mean, if there was no other reason, I would want to go visit York Minster. I mean, that looks like an amazing cathedral.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And if you live in York, or you have lived in York, or you've visited there extensively, what is your favorite thing about it? Like, what's a must see and do thing? Maybe something they didn't include on this list.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Seems like for a city, I could be wrong because I only saw like bits and pieces, but it seems like it has a small town kind of feel.
I got that a little bit too.
Like a quainter, more well connected.
Not as bustling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that's not
Maybe
true.
we're wrong,
But that's the vibe it seemed like. It seems like you probably get a lot of tourists here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's busy. But it seems like the people who live there on a regular basis would be like a closer knit community. But
yeah, and like one of my favorite things about old cities like this is the alleys. You don't especially when you're new to a city like this, you could probably go exploring down these little walkable alleys and there'll be all these little stores and stuff and you have no idea what to expect.
For the longest time, I'm sure you would continue finding things you were like, wait,
yes.
I didn't know this was here.
You know you would. This is an absolutely beautiful city, and if you live in York, you're very lucky. This at least what we're seeing here. It looks like an amazing place, and we'd love to know more. If you have any recommendations of things, maybe we should check out. Anyways, guys, if you're interested in checking out more of their videos, link as always will be in the description. But I think that's it for us today. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey to discover anything and everything about the UK and Ireland. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Bye.